So, are you a beginner and you're trying to figure out where should I open up my Roth IRA? And maybe you've been looking at different brokerage companies like Fidelity or Vanguard. In today's video, I'm going to break down which one I think is the best brokerage so you can get over that analysis paralysis and start your automated investing machine in 3, 2, 1, whoop! First thing before we begin, for the best millennial investing advice, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you can stay notified whenever I drop a video every Monday and help you make it rain every single Monday. So maybe this is you. Maybe you feel so overwhelmed by all these brokerage companies offering zero commission trades. So if you're overwhelmed by all these brokerage companies and you're trying to figure out which one is the best one for you and that's stopping you from investing, my goal is to help you figure it out by the end of this video. By the end of this video, you'll have a good idea of which brokerage company to go with. By the end of this video, you're gonna know where to open up your Roth IRA so you can start your kick-ass investing automated machine. Wow, that was really clunky. I've personally used both, so I think I have a pretty good idea of which one I like more at this point. Now, before we start, I'd love to hear from you. What are some of your biggest barriers of starting your Roth IRA? Leave it down in the comment below so I can shoot more videos about it and answer your questions. You're probably watching this video trying to figure out, hey, I need to open up my Roth IRA and I don't know where to do it. As we know, Roth IRAs are really great for retirement and they're really great for just parking your money in case you just want a house. There are special exceptions where you can take out the money early and you don't have to wait for retirement. Wouldn't recommend that, but it's available to you if you really want it. So here's the history of investing. For a long time, Vanguard was kicking everyone's ass. If you asked me 3 years ago, which one is the best brokerage company, I would have said hands down, Vanguard all the way. They had lower fees, really great performance, better performance sometimes than Fidelity. And I would have said that. But as of October 2019, for all stocks and ETFs, they basically don't charge a commission, and the base charge for option trades has been eliminated too. So those are two major things that really made them really attractive as well. And because of the competitive nature of this business now, everyone is lowering their fees. So that really threw a wrench into everything. So now let's kind of evaluate which one is a better brokerage company. And before you answer that question, you gotta ask yourself, what is the purpose? What do I need? Because if you're like me, you probably don't want to do option trading and all this sort of stuff. Maybe that's not really for you. Maybe you don't care about the information or education that they provide. I know I never open their emails, right? So you gotta ask, what is the purpose for you? And for me, it really comes down to 3 different things, right? Really is the trade experience, making sure that's not super clunky, making sure that the mobile experience is pretty good because I want to check my stocks and whatnot. And third thing is the most important, making sure that the fees are low with the reasonable performance. So let's dive into the first thing, user experience. This is more for more active traders, but one of the things that you'll realize quickly with Vanguard, that they're really focused on long-term investment. They really want to focus on high wealth clients and long-term planning, long-term investing, right? And helping them retire. That is their main focus. So they don't really focus on a lot of technology type of things. So, you know, you'll see really clunky things like you have to manually refresh your page to get updates. I hope they change that. You can't do complex option trades on Vanguard as well. Now compare this to Fidelity. They have a more advanced platform. Everything is live. It's constantly updated. You can there's a lot more customizability, and that really helps. I think one key thing is that they have real-time data on Active Trader Pro, which is always a plus. But this is something that if you're a long-term investor, probably does not matter too much to you. So here's another thing about the trading experience that I was talking about earlier. Fidelity also has a lot of cool projection tools. Vanguard has tools too to project like retirement and how much you should, and all these calculators and stuff. But I really like Fidelity a lot, especially when I was planning my mom's estate and whatnot. that was really helpful, just to kind of get a breakdown of everything and just to get a second opinion of things. Also, a really cool thing that I found about Fidelity recently was that there's a quick stock snapshot pages where you can, if you know, be socially responsible investing is important for you as well. So that's really cool as well. Also, when it comes to customer service, if you have a question, Fidelity has 24/7 customer service. It's really great. Vanguard only has Monday through Friday, typical business hours and stuff. I remember I was trying to do a wire transfer. It was a pain in the ass because they weren't available on the weekends to just talk to and whatnot. And so if customer service is really important to you, that might be something to consider. For me personally, I rarely ever use the customer service type of things as well. Second thing, the mobile experience. Some really key aspects about the Vanguard app that I really like is that it's really simple. I'm more of a minimalist when it comes to a lot of the apps that I use. I don't like a lot of complex things. Customizability is great, but Vanguard keeps it really simple, and I like that clean interface, right? Fidelity, it's a little more busy, but you can customize your newsfeed. Again, you'll run into this issue of Vanguard not really updating their things live. But like I said, if you're more focused on long-term investment, it doesn't really matter. Now, let's dive into the most important thing that out of all these things for me personally is number 3, the fees. We're actually right now in Fidelity's Compare Funds. Really great tool. Vanguard has something very similar, but today I'm going to show you how to compare different funds. Today we're comparing 2 most popular funds, Vanguard's VFIAX and Fidelity's VXIAX. These are basically S&P 500 index funds, so they basically track the S&P 500. If you don't know what the S&P 500 are, it's basically the top 500 US companies. They comprise almost 80% of the US market share. So they're a really great thing to start off with as well, right? And FYI, I know that you guys are like, hey, Kevin, what about the zero fund fees or zero fee funds that Fidelity has? Say no more, fam. I've already covered it in this other video, so make sure to check it out. I'll put it in the right-hand corner and take a look at it as well. But today we're just going to look at these 2 funds because they're the most popular, and you know, when most people say I invest in index funds, this is what they mean, S&P 500. So we have a quick snapshot. This doesn't really tell us that much, but notice something. R, risk, performance, fees. Wonder where I got that from. So let's take a look at risk. If you take a look at everything's pretty much the same. That makes sense because they're tracking the same indexes, the S&P 500 or a certain benchmark. So the risk is going to be relatively the same. If we look at performance, it's going to also be the same as well. These are pretty much head to head for a long time, up until maybe about 3 years ago. Actually, Vanguard had lower expense ratios. It's not expressed in these performance things, but you know, Vanguard actually had lower expense ratios than Fidelity for the longest time. Okay, so now let's take a look at so the performance is roughly the same, not too much difference, right? Not surprised since they track the same thing. Now let's go into the most important part. Let's take a look at the fees. Now there's a few things to consider. First thing, there are no loads with these funds, which is really great. What loads are basically transaction fees, right? To either get into a fund or get out of the fund. Some funds will charge you, and so I try to avoid these all at possible, right? Second thing to look at is the minimal purchase. Notice with the Vanguard 500, you need a minimum of $2,500 to initially invest with it, while the Fidelity funds are 0. So really great for cash strap type of people. And the most important thing is, let's take a look at the expense ratio. Vanguard is more than 2 times higher than Fidelity's. So get this, for the same, pretty much a lower cost and same performance, Fidelity index fund is the best bang for its buck. But obviously, take a look at each of these funds. Everything is going to differ from time to time, but really in this case, Fidelity's 500 index fund makes a lot more sense because not only is the same performance, lower costs, right, and no initial purchase required needed. So take a look at that, and if you want to see how these funds compare to the Fidelity's zero fee funds, make sure to check out my video I'll put it in the description below. All right, let's get back to the regular video, motherfuckers. And keep in mind with brokerage companies, if you pick one, it's really not that hard to roll it over to another institution. You can always switch, so you're never locked down. You're probably losing more money by not making a decision than making any decision at all. So as you can tell, Fidelity has a bit better performance over the last 10 years than Vanguard. And also the fees recently have been lower than Vanguard. Like I said in the past, Vanguard actually had lower fees, which really makes up for that difference. But we're coming toward the end of the video. Which one do I think is better? And I do want to tell you this, right? One of the things I like about Vanguard and that I've heard is that Vanguard is actually owned by people who actually invest into their own funds where they have skin in the game. That's something that I really like a lot about Vanguard. But honestly, Vanguard has not been keeping up with the times, especially with all these competitive options these days. Man, you have to stay ahead of the times, and you got to give Vanguard some time to adapt. Really, if Vanguard probably does not change within a year or so, or does not pivot, or does not announce anything, I'm probably going to switch over a lot of my funds to Fidelity moving forward. But one important thing is not to be so reactive. Like, I need to ask myself, is it really worth it to move all that money over to a new institution again, right? But if you are starting out right now at all the data, I would probably open up a Fidelity account over a Vanguard account if I were starting over again. Especially if you're starting out, there's no minimal investment. You're also getting some of the best expense ratios in the industry right now. So there's no reason why I would not move to Fidelity. So if you choose Fidelity, Fidelity is a great choice, especially during these times. But it's really important to stay on top of these things because we're in the middle of a bidding war right now. They are fighting tooth and nail for your business. So I guarantee you Vanguard will probably have some sort of competitive thing. So if you're seeing all these changes, I wouldn't, unless it really impacts your bottom line, you're doing frequent trading and all that, I probably would just, if your money's already in Vanguard, keep it there. So now that you know my personal recommendation, you're probably wondering, hey, do I have any other gaps in my portfolio? Well, say no more, fam, because I'm here to help you plug in your money leaks for your kick-ass portfolio. I've actually created a 12-step point investing checklist to help you identify any leaks for higher returns and increase your passive income, all for free. I'll put the link below. And if you're interested, I actually shot a free investing masterclass on how to set up your automated Roth IRA over the weekend for free. Link is also below. And if you like this video, please let me know by liking it and share it to any other future investors that you feel like that it would benefit as well. And comment what was helpful about this video. What do you want me to talk about more? I would love to kind of hear your biggest questions about investing. That is all. Kevin from Kick-Ass Investing. I will talk to you guys later. Peace, mother people. Bye.